Welcome back to the Gridiron Grind with Andrew and Lance. Today we're going to talk about our teams. One had a bye, one probably wish they had a bye. But before we get into that, looks like you got back home, Lance. I see similar surroundings.
Andrew, it's good to be back. The only problem is that next week I will be on the road again.
Oh,
Um,
really?
but no, it's so good to be back home. It's good to be back home. I love.
hmm
Um, did we talk about bowling ball pillows in our last conversation?
I don't think so. You talked about the ranch, going horseback riding and stuff like that, but not bowling ball pillows.
Oh, I don't know if you remember this from when you were younger, but I think about it when we used to have to suffer through commercials in order to watch any show that you wanted to watch. There was one that
hmm
came out. I can't remember the brand of pillow, but for the example of awful pillows, they used one where if you throw a bowling ball on it,
You
it pushes all
you
of the,
did talk about that when you're at the hotel. That's right.
yeah. Well, anyway, podcast listeners, you get to hear that again.
Here you go.
Congratulations. But yeah, yeah, my neck was like in so much pain by the end of it. I just could
hmm
not get good sleep. I'm one of those obnoxious people that I have to bring a pillow. So next time, pillow will be coming with me.
Yes, you need to remember that.
So anyway, it's all good. It's good to be home. And wow. We should get to the good news first, Andrews. Let's talk about how the Vikings beat the bye.
Yes, so I mean, we beat the by first Jordan Addison not getting in any more trouble. He stayed in the facility with McCarthy, apparently. Like they were in the facility throwing passes pretty much the whole week. So that's how we won, first of all. And we're starting to get a little healthy. I mean, we're not there yet, but Donovan Jackson, our left guard, he should be back. Sounds like Brian O'Neill is going to practice some, but I don't think he's going to play. If I was going to guess, I would guess he misses this game because he has an MCL sprain, and that happened against the Steelers. And so, I mean, it's possible, but I would be surprised if he played. But one of the biggest guys we're getting back is Blake Cashman. He was on IR. He's opened his 21-day window. I would assume he's going to play. And Andrew Van Ginkel has missed a couple games with a neck issue. I think he's 50-50 if he's going to go. He's starting to practice on the side, not on the main field. And we had like a little small get together on Monday. It was kind of like an unofficial, like, walk through practice just to get everybody together again after the bye week. And JJ McCarthy was out there practicing. So he's on a limited basis.
Mm.
If I was going to guess between McCarthy and Wentz, they're both banged up. It's literally a coin flip. But I would probably guess it's not going to be the wish of a lot of storyline fans. I'm guessing that McCarthy is going to play because he's out there, he's moving, he's got a little tape on his ankle, but that's my guess. I don't feel confident. It could go either way, but if I was going to make a guess right now, I'm guessing it's McCarthy. Now, is that the best thing for the team? Because Kevin O'Connell, which he does great in his interviews, man. He's awesome. He made a comment that I didn't realize, but McCarthy has had 1 day of practice in a month. I was like, wow,
Mm.
that's big because the game of the week of the Falcons, he practiced 1 day because during that week he had his first child. So he missed a couple practices because of the birth of their child. So kind of might be a little small reason why he didn't look all that great. It's because he didn't really have a full grasp of the game plan. He didn't practice all week, but 1 day. He didn't practice on the key day, which is Friday, where they're really ironing everything out. He wasn't there that day against the Falcons. And as we saw against the Bills, maybe the Falcons are for real. I don't know. But it's kind of wild to think that he hasn't practiced but 1 day in a month. So for him to ramp up and be ready for the Eagles game, um, that sounds like a tall task. But again, if I was going to guess, I would guess it's him because Wentz himself is also banged up. But one of the key things will be if there's any transactions made, like if we add any quarterbacks to our practice
Mm.
squad or activate anybody, then we'll know, okay, sounds like one of them's getting shut down. And so we have three quarterbacks, we're elevating somebody. But overall, no one got in trouble. We're starting to get a little healthier. And I really want to see McCarthy with our left tackle, Darisaw. He hasn't played with him yet. And with Jordan Addison. He hasn't played with Addison yet either. That's going to be huge. I don't know if it's going to be this game. Don't know if it's going to be the Chargers the next week, but it's going to happen soon. Overall, positive stuff coming from bye week. Get people healthy, get back on the practice field, and we'll see where it goes.
mean, that's all you can hope for. So, and I think that the Vikings overall are in a good spot. Considering everything, considering you lost JJ McCarthy, like the season's
Hmm.
in front of you guys. It's in front of you. There's still opportunities.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that that's a fair assessment. And you guys are 3-2 right now, so everything's still in front of you. You've got a couple losses, sure, but
And as we saw, this league is crazy right now. Do we really know who is like leading each conference? I mean, there's probably like four or five teams you can say, I can see them winning it. Before it was probably like one or two teams. It's kind of wide open right now.
I mean, I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are for real. If people are questioning the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think they have not been looking very closely. That's my
They have a lot of
interpretation.
injuries they're dealing with, and yet they keep winning.
Fair.
So got to give them credit. Baker Mayfield's the MVP right now, and I don't think that's a conversation anymore. There's other people that are in that mix of MVP candidates, but with Josh Allen looking bad on Monday, it's Baker's award to lose right now, basically.
Yeah, I mean, he's looked impressive. Um,
Hmm.
Shout out to him. He's definitely taken the reins, filling in for Tom Brady, and they haven't missed a
Hmm.
beat for the most part. I mean, really, it's I continue to be impressed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that they have looked
Yep.
outstanding. Um, I know they beat the 49ers with their backup quarterback, which is it their backup quarterback? I don't know. I'm kind of like I'm softly questioning that, Andrew, because Jones has looked overall pretty good as a backup.
Hmm.
Um, so that I think that's going to be leading to uncomfortable conversations in San Francisco if Purdy continues to sit out. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Baker Mayfield has 12 touchdowns to one interception, 1,500 yards passing,
Phenomenal.
66.6. What more would you? 256 yards per game average. I mean, that's
And I think
amazing.
the biggest key that he's been doing is in crunch time when it's like third down and long and they have to get a first down to either go score or to ice the game. He's getting that first down a lot of times with his legs. It's, I mean, he doesn't run a lot, but when he does, he gets that first down. He is making all the right decisions. Give him so much props. I I don't want to say I was lower on him this year. Mainly just fantasy talk. I was lower on him for like fantasy football this year, but I was wrong because he's looked great. And I mean, they're dealing with so many injuries, and he's throwing to receivers that he probably doesn't know their first name, and they're still getting touchdowns. It it's been wildly impressive.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. Um, I just anyway, I know it's kind of off subject talking about the Buccaneers, but I just think that that's
Yeah. They,
like let me
I
put
mean,
it.
even with them being the best
Mm,
team, they are still vulnerable because that defense isn't all that
sure,
great,
yes,
and they have so many injuries in offense. That's just part of the point. The parity of
but
this league is wild.
they're going to get Mike Evans back, right? And Chris Godwin is still not fully
Probably
back,
not this week, but maybe next week.
and so I think that the Igbuka injury is happening at a better time than if it was like
Mm,
let's say 3 weeks earlier. Because if you get Mike Evans back and Godwin is continuing to still ramp up, um, you can cushion that injury more. I mean, but I think the one that's just like to me just makes them legit is they have lost so many of their offensive starters on the line, and they still
hmm.
find ways to fill gaps and continue to be competitive. Um, but like, let me put it this way, Andrew: if you were going to do an NFL rankings right now, wouldn't the Buccaneers be the number one team?
It'd be hard not to put them there, most likely.
I mean, as of
It
this week. as of this week
Yeah.
after just what we saw this week.
hmm Yeah. I mean, I think there's only two one-loss teams. I think it's them
Them
and
and
the
the
Colts.
Colts, which is bizarre.
Well, I guess technically the Packers have one loss, but they also have a tie.
That tie was a loss.
I agree.
That tie was that's such a bad tie that it was absolutely a loss in my book. I just Steven
hmm
would fight me tooth and nails over that, but um,
But because of that tie and not the L, they are first place in the North right now.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think, man. The parity in this league is just top notch.
Wild. Yeah. It makes picking
Is
these games extremely hard.
is there another league though that has this much parity?
I
Genuine
highly doubt
question.
it.
I definitely can't say that the NBA has this much parity. I feel like it's still
No, there's like
concentrated.
four or five teams that you can truly say has a chance every
Yeah,
year.
I would say I could go to six. I feel like six teams, but I definitely think that that's where it caps off, and then everyone else is kind of just
hmm
pretenders. Um,
Right.
but man, it's tough. I'm just looking at all the standings right now, and like, what about Seahawks? Where do you put them? I don't even know because there's some weeks that the Njigba effect
hmm
looks incredible. Darnold has looked really good,
Yeah.
which I, again, audience, eating my words. I'm the one that said that Darnold is going to be worse than Geno Smith, and Geno went and said, "Hold my beer," and
He threw
uh,
another pick against the Titans this week. They got the win, luckily, but he threw another pick. Man.
it's wild, man. It is wild. And also, Andrew, you're probably asking, am I delaying talking about the Eagles? You bet I am. You bet I am delaying talking about my team. Um, okay, I think I'm ready. I'm ready to dig into the game.
Okay.
Should we dig into it?
Let's do
Um,
it.
should I go first with my thoughts? Do you want to share any thoughts from the game?
You go first. You go first because I feel like you'll probably be more thorough than I would be since it's a team you watch all the time.
Oh man, I'm just trying to think about where to start. Okay, so Andrew, this Thursday night, I came home super excited to watch this game. Looking forward to it. It's the
hmm
Giants. It's the team we always beat. It's the team we've only lost to twice in like the past 6 years. Um, I fully expected the Eagles to beat them. And so I turn on the game and wow, it was uh it was surprising. Um, we just we struggled so badly. I'm leaving this 2 week stretch more frustrated with their defense. Sincerely.
Okay.
I'm more frustrated with the defense than the offense. The offense has problems, and I'm not saying they don't, but they gave up 18 points to the Broncos on Sunday, and that's simply just too much. It's too many points in one quarter. I don't care if the offense is doing as good as it should be. Like, there's just things you're not allowed to do as a defense, and that to me is one of them. It's like so frustrating. Jalen Carter was out of this game, and I would probably be more okay with Jalen Carter being out of this game if he didn't spit on Dak Prescott in week one. But
Mm,
right now, it's hard for me not to question how all into it is he right now because it just feels like he's loafing a little bit. Like that's the perception. I'm not saying that's the reality, but it's like really hard because your team needed you. They needed you for this week.
hmm
And I genuinely don't believe if he's doing everything he can to be on the field ready to play. So like that's the first observation from this week is it's very frustrating that he was out. Um, this guy is like getting ready to sign a contract. And right now, if I'm the Eagles, I am not signing that contract. He's doing everything he
hmm
can to make me say, I don't trust him. I don't want to invest in him. I don't believe in him. So that's the first observation from the game. And I'm actually kind of surprised how much people didn't talk about that after the game. And maybe they're just giving more grace. And that's fair. The Eagles are a very cautious team. It's just like for me, if I'm like doing a strike system, this is strike two. I know it shouldn't be, but it is. Like I've already seen clips during the past few games of him not playing as hard and him not being available this week is like, Jalen, like you're killing this team. They need you so bad, and yet you're not stepping up to the plate. So when is this guy going to step up to the plate and start saying, I'm part of the reason we're not succeeding. I'm the reason to some degree the Scattaboo was able to go off and have such an amazing game. Um, but it's like it's just crazy. Moro Ojomo is not being nearly as effective as an overall defensive tackle as I thought he would be. He's had good moments as a pass rusher, but the overall balance of being a defensive tackle, I've not been impressed with. Jordan Davis continues to be most impressive from the group, which is like it's so weird to me because it's Jordan Davis should be our third best defensive tackle. That was the perception, but he's not. He's the number one defensive tackle for our team right now. So it's just kind of like, who's going to step up and be a big boy? Who's going to step up and make a big play? I thought it was Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith has 1.5 sacks and leads our defensive ends. And guess what, Andrew? He just retired.
That was wild.
So
He was playing pretty well, and he's like, "Nah, I'm good."
uh, I know that it's being said um, that it's part of it, but yeah, I just and we continue to insist on putting Keely Ringo out there as our defensive
Um,
as our
hmm
cornerback. Um, I don't know if you watched any of the game, but like Keely
I
was
watched the whole game.
consistently 5 yards from the receiver every time he was catching the ball, like 5 yards, 6 yards, sometimes 3 yards. And it's like if you're that far, you know in your head you're thinking there's going to be 5 more yards here, and sure enough, there's another 5 to 10 yards for the receiver to get after catching the ball. And so at some point, as a defensive coordinator, you just have to say, you know, Keely, I can't play you. I don't care that Quinyon Mitchell's
Hmm
banged up. I am not playing you. We're going to find someone else to put in your spot because you're just not trustworthy. Um, so he had a horrible night. I don't know how many yards that Keely Ringo gave up. I should know that.
It was probably a
But
lot, and while you're looking that up, one of my couple thoughts was, A, you might really be missing Milton Williams. That might be a low key thing that the D line is just missing that depth because, like you said, Carter hasn't played well. Jordan Davis has been your best one. If you guys still had Milton Williams, you had a better rotation. And when you're talking about Ringo, I'm thinking, man, what if you guys traded for Greg Newsome like the Jaguars just did? He could be your two, and he
yeah,
could be a good two. That would be an improvement. But Jaguars beat you guys to it. Usually it's the other way around. Usually the Eagles are making all those trades like, whoa, where'd that come from? But just didn't get Newsome this time. I don't know if you were interested in him. I know he's a really good corner. He'd be a good two for you guys, but I don't know if there's anybody else out there right now.
yeah, I don't know either. It's just kind of like inexplicable right now.
Hmm
I'll touch on Takes Bisbee in a second because I think this is also tied to
Oh,
that. It's tied
yeah.
though, man. It is. It's tied. Um, but I mean, but even Zach Bond, like during the game, there was one play where Zach Bond showed him the blitz and kind of like went
hmm
like 25% in and then completely backpedaled and went into spy. But the thing is that, oh, yeah, thumbs up. Um, but the way he backpedaled made it so easy for Jackson Dart to get around him to go for a
I knew that
touchdown.
was the play you're talking about. Yep.
But it was just so bad. I mean, Zach Bond's going to go afterwards and say, that's on me. That's on me. I know I need to
hmm
spy. But so either to me, he either needs to go and rush or he needs to just not go that heavily in because he went
hmm
so hard in that it made it easy for Jackson Dart to squeeze around him because he was still backpedaling with Jackson Dart's like, oh, lane clear, go. And he just couldn't recover. Uh, so I do think that we're missing people. I think Josh Sweat is a huge miss because we have found no one to
Yeah.
replace him. Jalen Hunt has also been a disappointment. We got to talk about that too. He has not filled in. To me, he's a solid number three, and he can only be number three. I don't think he
Mm.
could be a number two or number one defensive end right now. Um, but like if I'm the Eagles, does Brandon Graham want to come out of retirement? Is there any part of him could he come out of retirement? Is he in decent enough shape? Because like we need somebody. And Zadarius Smith is gone. Um, Azeez Ojulari, I got to give him flowers again. Like, he had some good moments in this game where I was like, I don't know why he's not playing. I don't know why he's not in the game. He's actually looking like he's doing okay here. But man, we couldn't get Dart on the ground. Uh,
Yeah,
so
I mean, you guys contained him and got around him so many times, but he was just so elusive. Some of those plays, I was like, that's Dart just winning. It wasn't that the Eagles didn't play it well. It was just Dart being better at that particular play. Like he was
yeah,
just dodging, backing up, going forward, going left, buying time, and then throwing darts. Get it? Dart to darts. But man, I think I was more impressed with Dart than I was disappointed in like the pass rush because there were times when you guys were getting around him, but he was just barely escaping. It was kind of like game one when Minnesota played Caleb Williams, and we were all in his face, but we could not take him down. He kept just barely escaping. And I kind of got that vibe from Dart on Thursday. And there is that play where, like you said, he ran for that touchdown whenever he just made that move on Bond and scored. And then and I think it was Ringo that missed the tackle on Wan'Dale Robinson. It was just like a 2 yard out, and Ringo didn't tackle him, and then Wan'Dale Robinson just took it to the house. I was like, man, that looks so bad on you, Ringo. And it was just those little plays like that the defense was just that close, but it's a game of inches, and those two plays ended up being touchdowns.
yeah. Well, and I looked it up, and there's a little bit of discrepancy, but it says here that Ringo gave up three receptions for 69 yards, but he also had two penalties. Um,
Yeah.
and the part that kills you about Keely Ringo is he makes these plays on the worst downs. They're typically third down, and it's
Hmm.
typically got to get off the field downs. Like, they're breaking you, they're bending you down the field. We have to stop him right here, and he just makes the dumbest decisions. Um,
Hmm.
when I saw him in the preseason make that mistake against Jamar Chase, I don't know if you know what I'm
Chase,
talking
yeah.
about. It was
Yep.
it was really bad. I just thought, oh, he's not startable. That's
Hmm.
like so bad. It's like that is not a starter. If you're making that type of mistake against an all pro receiver in the preseason, you are not in the headspace to be a starter. Um, they want him to. I get it. He's a fourth round pick that was kind of like projected to be a third round pick. So there's a lot of value there. To me, I just feel like it comes down to mental decisions. And it's kind of been his problem since he's been in the NFL. He's got potential, but he gets flagged all the time, or he's
Hmm.
out of position. It's like the only way he can hitch a ride or stay with the person is by holding on to them. And
Hmm.
Quinton Mitchell getting injured was tough. People are mad at Adoree Jackson for the game he had, and it's fair. But here's the thing I'd say. Every time Adoree Jackson gave up a pass, you know who's right there? Adoree Jackson. He was literally like glued to the receivers. Like every time I felt like I watched him give up a catch, he's like swatting the ball down and just misses it by like zero point 0.1 seconds. Like the effort is there, the
Hmm.
discipline is there. He's just not the same age he was to make those plays that he used to make. He's a little older, and I can live with that. To me, that's fine. If you're going to take the guy
Yeah.
down after he makes the catch, at least I can live with that. I can't live with giving up plays because you're just not being disciplined enough on the route. That kills me. So I will get off the defense. I'm looking at you defense. You're coming in a matchup where the Vikings have struggled with sacks, and I'm
Yes, we
expecting
have.
something.
Yes, with a ton of sacks, especially those first few games whenever KOC was still wanting to hunt downfield and our O line was beat up. I will say, last game, I did like the game plan change. I think we only
Mhm.
got sacked twice, and we were playing Miles Garrett, and he got goose egg sacks against us. So great game plan. Hopefully, KOC doesn't think, oh, the Eagles don't have a pass rush anymore. Let's go back to the old game plan. Throw it deep, and then we get sacked 6 times again. Hopefully, he's learned his lesson. We shall see.
Well, we'll see what Keeler Ringo can provide for us because I have a feeling he's going to be back out there again. And
And he's
I don't
probably going
know,
to be on Jordan Addison.
man. I might feel more excited about putting Jordan Addison in this game. Oh, I think that's it for the defense. I'll put the defense to the side. I think that that's everything I wanted to cover there. We could
Okay.
dig into other things. Makuba, Campbell, they struggled a little bit. I mean, I can live with rookies struggling. I can live with that.
Right,
But
right, for sure.
Ringo is not a rookie. He's not a rookie, and um,
Hmm.
he's a veteran of 3 years now. Like it's time to grow up and start making big boy plays. Um, but switching now, we talked about Tiggs Bigsby, so we should cover that. But
Uh, he's looked
it's one of
bad.
the worst trades we've ever made. Like
Uh,
I can't believe we gave him a fifth and sixth for him. I mean, I really did think at the time a fifth and a sixth. Like I know that maybe I'm sounding a little bit uh snotty here, but that's just too much. And breaking news, it was too much. It was definitely too much.
yeah, it's definitely showing that right now because he had what, two fumbled kick returns?
Well, and that leads me
Uh,
to we were talking about people we're missing, right? And this is one thing that Eagles Nation's not talking about, but it's just because we have so many issues we're dealing with. Kenneth Gainwell, running back for the
mm,
Steelers, just had an amazing day against the Vikings, right? And he had a pretty okay week this week too. He had like 10
yeah,
fantasy
wasn't bad.
points.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Um, but guess who was our kickoff returner? It was Kenneth Gainwell. And you know what?
Hmm.
Did I ever have to complain about Kenneth Gainwell on kickoffs? No.
Nope.
And do you know how cheap Kenneth Gainwell was? He was like $1 million, maybe two at the most. Like we could have afforded him. I'm looking at the decisions, Andrew, and AJ Dillon was almost the same cost as Kenneth Gainwell. Why did we not keep him? Uh, unless he literally told us, I have a better chance to start in Pittsburgh. If someone told me that, okay, I could believe it. I could believe that Dillon would come to that for that price to Philly because he just wants to rehab his image. But I can't believe we can't let Kenneth Gainwell go and not have a plan to replace him. And to
Hmm.
me, we did not have a plan to replace him, like legitimately replace him. Um, it's just like it's such a head scratcher, and so like because of that bad trade, I think it's going to make Howie a little more gun shy to say, "Man, am I just trading for another Tank Bigsby?" Well, newsflash, Howie. Some trades aren't typically as bad as Tank Bigsby. You don't typically give up two picks for a running back that hasn't ever legitimately shown like long-term potential. I Yeah, so that was a bad decision, and we're really hurting on that right now because I don't know who's going to do kickoff returns. If I'm the Eagles, maybe it's Cooper DeJean. Vic Fangio is going to be livid if I tell him that as Nick Sirianni. But like, Vic, do you want our offense starting on the 70-yard line because of a fumble? Do you want them starting on the 15-yard line, or should we get them out to the 30-yard line? You tell me. You tell me what you want.
Hmm.
Um, but it's like it's crazy, man. So our special teams has been so rough. Um, so that's I think it for that one. Shifting to offense now. Um, Jalen Hurts had probably one of the worst interceptions he's ever had. Um,
And I more see it as the throw wasn't great, but I think the corner just made an amazing play. Like that was not an easy interception to catch, but the corner caught it. Now, did the corner kind of bait him into that throw a little bit? Yeah, he was in a good position to dive at it and go for it. But man, that was a crazy good catch. I think I came more on that corner made an amazing play more than Hurts threw a really bad interception. What a bad interception was the J.J. McCarthy pick six he threw against the Bears. That was really, really, really bad. Jalen Hurts, that throw he probably wanted to have back, but it wasn't one where like, to me at least, like, what are you doing throwing that pass? He was under pressure and he had a quick out route. He thought he could get to his guy, and that corner just made an amazing play. That's what I saw from it at least.
I think the question of the play is, and I think it's fair, is why is he going to Dotson first and not Brown?
That's a really good question.
Dotson should always be the third read, like on
Maybe in the
almost
fourth read.
any play. Yeah. I mean, yeah, because you got Goddard, and Goddard definitely like that's the part I
He
think people are
crushed it.
struggling with. Um, it's frustrating, man. I know he had pressure. I mean, I think it's a give and take. Part of the issue is Jalen um, was looking in the wrong spot.
Hmm.
He had pressure coming. I do agree with that. The interception is frustrating because it just reminded me of the Jets interception back in 23. I don't know if
Mm.
you watched that game, but the Eagles were winning. They just needed to ice the game, and he throws a horrible interception that the Jets are able to return to like the 10-yard line, and the Jets score a touchdown. And it just totally took the wind out of the Eagles' sails, and they lose the game. Like it felt like that type of a play, like one
Mm.
that's like you can't take the wind out of your team's sails like that. Um, I will say, besides that, I was impressed with other throws by Jalen Hurts. I thought he had some good moments tonight. The first half, he looked good again. There was good plays. He put them in position. He got them up 17-13 over the
Hmm.
Giants. But this is where it comes back to complementary football. The Eagles did not play complementary football. The offense took turns letting the defense down. The defense took turns letting the offense down. And that makes it really tough. We also just like cannot get the running game going. It is the weirdest thing. I don't understand it. The yards that Saquon Barkley gets are like
He has to fight
really,
for
really,
every single
really
one.
trying for it. I mean,
Hmm.
like he is like having to maximize everything. And Lane Johnson after the game talked about the Eagles being too predictable. I would love to know some of the things he meant. This does lead me to another point I want to bring up. Dan Orlovsky of ESPN, probably my favorite ESPN analyst, talked
Hmm.
about how there's a telltale sign of what the Eagles are doing. And he said, if you watch them in shotgun, if Saquon Barkley is back at all, it's a run play, most likely. And what he means is like back by like the quarterback's here, running back here,
Hmm.
here. And if he's behind the quarterback, it's a run. If he's by Jalen, it's a pass. Like he's noticed
Mm,
that little
interesting.
tendency, and it's giving away to the defense. And he made tweets about it, and I agree with it. He's like, they're following the same tendency. So, like, part of the issue might be they just need to quit playing out of shotgun, which, newsflash, this always comes up in the Eagles news world. The Eagles love shotgun way too much and need to start using pistol formations or I formation to break up out of that mold to make it harder for the defense to be able to predict what they're doing. Like one play call I loved was Jalen goes under center when it's like I think it was like second and goal and throws that pass to Dallas Goedert. Um, because the defense has to legitimately worry. Is he about to QB sneak it on us? He doesn't need people behind him. He could still push it forward. And so they were worried about the interior, and it was perfect. Like he throws the pass to Goddard. The protection wasn't clean for Goddard, but Goddard's a strong dude and pushes for 3 yards for the touchdown. It was well executed
Hmm.
by him. Great receiver. He's definitely looked like our best offensive player. Like if we had an offensive MVP right now, it's Goddard.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. I know Jalen's had moments, but there's just also moments it's just made me pull my hair out. So And the other thing I was going to say is another bright note. Brett Toth honestly did not look bad to me in stepping in for Dickerson. I would not change pace because of Dickerson's injury. I would not panic and rush him back. I would intentionally let him take as long as he needs to. We were able to get by. We just got to do different stuff. I'd give some blame to Patullo. I give some blame to Sirianni. I give some blame to Hertz. But it was just all around, man. Our team did not look good. We made too many
Yeah.
mistakes. We just got to play disciplined football. So here you go,
Hmm.
man. Um, we're still on top of the division, so everything's in front of us
Yeah. The Commanders
miraculously.
had that bad loss, so mhm.
Well, and that really just that's our saving grace right now. It helps us a ton, and the the NFC is still there for the taking. So
Absolutely. It's wide open.
I just don't know. Is this another repeat of the 24 Eagles? Because this reminded me a lot of the Buccaneers game, where we just had a lot of injuries. They piled up. Did the injuries just make us look bad? Or is this 2023 and like the Jets loss as a sign of problems to come? We're getting outgained in every
Hmm.
game in terms of yards right now. That's a really big problem.
Yeah.
Um, I just don't know, man. I don't know. It's perplexing. So,
One thing I
yeah.
would say about your run game, though, is you're coming against the worst run defense in the league right now. So, it, brighter days might be ahead. What I would say about the Vikings defense is if you guys had the right game plan, you would follow the past three teams that played Minnesota and do very, very quick short game and run the crap out of that ball. Because if you try to drop back 30, 40 times and you're trying to do medium to deep routes, Jalen Hurts is going to be in trouble because our pressure rate is high. Flores likes to send the heat. But with that, sometimes there's gaps that if Jalen Hurts can read the defense good enough, which I think he's reading it okay. He's not reading it great, but he's reading it okay. If he can
Mhm.
read it good enough and get the ball out quickly, you guys can have some success. And if your run game is going, which every team so far has run the ball other than the Bengals, which that's the Bengals. But every other team has run the ball pretty well against Minnesota, unless they figure some out in the bye week. If I were the Eagles, which I hope they're not listening, I would run the ball like 25, 30 times with Barkley, Dillon, and Hurts. Just run, 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 and quick game, control the clock. Because, like you said, the defense hasn't looked great. Minnesota's offense is starting to click a little bit. Addison's back, O-line's back. So we're probably going to be able to put up some points. What the Eagles need to do is control that ball, run it down the Minnesota Vikings defense throat because that has been the biggest weakness so far.
That's fair. One thing I want to see next week is they need to get the RPOs back in. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
I have not seen nearly enough of those where um, oh man, what game was I watching on Sunday? Sorry, I took a note of this and I forgot to bring it with me. It might have been the Chiefs game where I just was really
Hmm.
impressed by the element of confusion that they were implementing in their game plan. And I don't feel like we have that in our game plan. And right now, I feel like we really need that, where we need the defense to not be sure what we're doing. They need to be
Yeah,
taking a moment to pause. And so um, we'll see. Flores is going to blitz Hurts, and he's going
all
to
day
go all
long.
out.
That's his
So,
style. He makes some adjustments, but even if the run game's working really well, if it's like 3rd and 4, he's still gonna pass blitz. So that draw up the middle could be wide open. And I love Flores, but sometimes he just doesn't make the adjustments needed. Now, I'll give him credit in the second half against the Browns. It was three and out, three and out, three and out, punt, 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 punt. We stopped them every time we needed to in the run game. But that was the Browns' run game. Quinton Judkins is good, but he's no Saquon Barkley. So we'll see.
yeah, man, I'm glad we're not picking games today because my confidence is low. So we'll
Yes, and I'm
see.
trying to not be too purple Kool-Aid
Hmm.
because I liked what I saw. There were some improvements against the Browns. Then we had our bye week. We're getting healthy. And it seems like as Vikings fans, we all know this. When things are looking up, that's when something really horrible happens.
Well, time will tell. Time will tell. I'm excited
Hmm.
for us to get into this matchup later this week. It'll be a good one.
Yep, absolutely. And in our next episode, we're going to get into a little bit of highlights from another crazy week. I mean, I feel bad that we're trying to pick these games because we're looking silly. We're not doing too well. I mean, I think you won again with barely like a 70-point game. It was, or like an 81. It was low points again. I'm like, man, it's it's tough out there. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that next episode. Thank you guys for joining us in the Gridiron Grind with Andrew Lance. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and we'll see you next time.
See you, everybody.